Hey everybody, it's Dave. Today I'm going to address a problem that I've had now for about 2 years, and that is I do not have a good setup for washing my cars. I'm here in a detached garage that's about 30-40 yards from the house. I'm on a well, so the water tank is probably pipe length 40-50 yards away. It's in the corner of the house. It's at a lower elevation, so by the time the water comes up through all the pipes and uphill to my sink here and my hose, I've got very little water pressure. Washing my car is like washing your car with a sprinkler. It's brutal. So I've had a pressure washer. Wasn't really set up very well. I'll show you what I've worked with and now what I'm going to do going forward. So washing my cars directly from the hose is brutal. There's very little water pressure here. You don't have any benefit of high pressure water to blast any dirt off. It's just brutal. So let me show you what I've been doing up until this point. Alright, so up until today I've been using this pressure washer. I bought this pressure washer probably 30 years ago. I mean, the thing's been great. It hasn't skipped a beat. I was one of the first guys in the neighborhood to have a high pressure washer, and it's been awesome. The hose for it is hanging on the wall. And the big problem with this setup is every time I go to use it, I've got to take the hose off the wall, and to straighten it out, you've got to untwist it. It's just, I'm fighting with the hose every time. And when it comes time to wash the car, I just look at this hose and this setup, and it's like, I don't feel like fighting with this stuff. And I end up, not washing my cars. So let me show you what I've done to make things a little more efficient and easier and make me willing to wash my cars quickly without killing myself. So here's what I've purchased online to help me make life easy to wash my cars. I've got this 100-foot hose reel. I've got 50 feet of high pressure hose. So 50 feet of hose on a 100-foot hose reel. I should be able to roll the whole thing up there and it's not overflowing and falling off. That should be good. I've got a 6-foot whip. I've also bought a new trigger, an assortment of nozzles, and just one of the cheapest foam cannons you can buy. This thing's like 15 bucks. And then I've also got a couple of IK Foam Pro sprayers. One's got wheel cleaner and the other's got spray wax. So I should be able to, grab my trigger that's on my hose, unreel it without having to untwist it or fight with it. Just pull it off the reel, unreel it out. Foam cannon with some soap. Rinse and spray. And my whole setup here should make life easy and make me want to come out and, my goal is just to be able to wash the outside of the car in 15 minutes without killing myself and have everything put away after 15 minutes. And I think I can accomplish that with this setup. So let's get this thing installed and see how it works. Alright, step number one is to find a location for this hose reel. I want to keep it, near the door so I can unreel hose and go wash my car either out in the driveway or inside the garage here in the wintertime, and at night I can wash it inside as well. So my pressure washer's here on the ground. The hose reel is going to go right up against the wall right here. There. Alright, next step I'm going to do is attach the whip. With a lot of Teflon tape, so we don't get any leaks here. This brass fitting here has got some kind of glue, so I'm not going to bother putting Teflon there. I'm just going to leave it. I think it's got a good seal there. If it leaks, I will have to take it apart and put Teflon there, but there seems to be some kind of adhesive or glue in the threads. But I also want to be careful I don't turn this so hard, getting this tight, that it breaks the seal that this has. So let me get another wrench and grab a hold of that brass fitting. Alright, that should be plenty tight enough with all that Teflon tape in there. I'm pretty confident that's a good watertight seal. And then the other end of this hose goes right to the pressure washer. Alright, the next connection I'm going to make is the 50-foot hose to the hose reel. This doesn't have a convenient spinning end, so I have to twist this whole hose to get this in here. Might have to fight with this a little bit to get it started, and then I'm going to have to twist the entire hose. Alright, got it started. Now I'm going to straighten out this entire 50-foot of hose so that I can twist it while I'm cranking it on here. So let me unwrap the whole hose so that it will twist instead of bind up. Alright, so I unwrapped the hose. It's now one straight hose with no loops in it, so I should just be able to twist the hose and it'll just kind of rotate without binding up, hopefully. And I got a lot of Teflon tape on here. I don't want to put a lot of force on any of these joints here, so I'm going to hold this elbow while I tighten this down. And that's pretty tight. I don't want to go crazy. And then I'll slide this up like that. So hopefully that won't leak. We'll check. I mean, we'll check for leaks when we're all done, but I think we're doing good. Now I need to take this hose and loop it back inside here and then around the reel. Alright, now I've got to take this hose and wrap it through here. Alright, let me see if I can figure out a way to position this. Alright, so I slid this rubber piece off that's there to protect, you know, it bending sharply here, but it's going to be secured. So I'm getting rid of this, and I'm just going to have this hose like that. And then I'm going to take a clamp that came with this hose and secure it like this. So even if I get to the end of the reel, I won't be pulling on this hose, it'll just be pulling on this clamp here, theoretically. So let me put a nut on here to fasten that clamp. Alright, so now when you pull on the hose, it's just pulling on this clamp and not pulling on these fittings. If I yank it all the way out to the end, which I'm going to be careful not to do if I can help it. Alright, now I've got to straighten the hose out and wrap it up on the reel here, and let's see if how it fits a 50-foot hose. Should be no problem. Alright, let's reel this hose up and see how this thing works. There's also a lock on this thing that will lock it in place. And now attach the whip to the pressure washer, like so. Okay, and the final thing is I want to kind of secure this whip so it's not dangling everywhere. So I'll just clamp it to the wall here like that, leaving me enough hose. Alright, that's good. Alright, so now I just have to grab my hose that's on a reel over in the wall over there, pull it out over to here, attach it. Attach it like that. Turn the water on. Let's see if it leaks anywhere. Of course, unlike an air hose, when there's nothing on this, you got to plug something on there. So there's that. Alright, so here we are, just straight water pressure from the house. Look at that. And then we'll turn the pressure washer on. And we have this. Nice. All right. Beautiful. All right, so I got this thing all hooked up. I don't see any leaks anywhere. Now there's water pressure from the house. Nothing leaking. Now we got high pressure. Still, I have nothing leaking anywhere on any of these joints, which is awesome. Look at that. Awesome. Alright, I've also got an assortment of tips for different spray patterns, narrow and wide. I want to keep these close by, so I'm just going to screw them in right here. Beautiful. So far so good. Everything is set up just the way I wanted it, except for one final thing, and that is the water supply. You know, right now I've got this garden hose run across my garage. So anytime I need to use this power washer, I've got to unroll the garden hose and hook it up to the power washer, and that's no bueno. I do have water. I've got PEX pipes right here. What I'm going to do is, I bought 50 feet of PEX pipe. I am going to remove this whole section right here with the spigot. And I'm going to plug in a 50-foot length of pipe. And I'm going to run the pipe up, over, and then down over to here, and then mount my spigot there. So then I just need a short garden hose whip to go from there to there, and we can get this garden hose off of the floor. So that's what my plan is. Alright, so I turn the water supply off with that valve. Now I'm going to remove this spigot. Alright, so I pulled off that little section with the spigot. I'm going to plug in one end of this 50-foot line. Like that. And I'm going to continue this up along the wall all the way over to the pressure washer. Alright, so there's the pipe now. I've got it running up the wall, along the top of the wall, behind the TV, still at the top of the wall, and now I'm bringing it down here over by the pressure washer. Alright, here's the other end of the PEX. Here is my spigot. I want to mount it right about here. I've already got the hose hooked up to the pressure washer, so I'm going to go right about there. So let me snap this in place. And then I'm going to fasten it right here. So let me go get a couple of screws. Alright, so here I got a valve to turn the water off and on here to the pressure washer. Alright, so this wraps up this little project, and I'm pretty psyched about it because I dreaded washing any of my vehicles because I used to have to fight with that twisted up hose on the wall and dragging out a garden hose. Now I just open the door, grab that hose off the reel, pull it out 50 feet, turn on the power washer, and I'm ready to go washing. And then when I'm done, I can just reel it back up on the reel, and everything is tucked away nice. This is pretty much out of my way. I won't be tripping on it, and it's just here to use whenever I need it. So I'm excited about it. Hope you enjoyed that. If so, please consider subscribing. And until next time, thanks for watching.